live from Bushwick. It's Sunday afternoon.
It's Sunday afternoons with Sight After Dark.
Alright, let's get Simon on here. Send. Get my Gatorade. Replenish the electrolytes.
Oh my gosh, it's definitely, yeah, you can easily fall into that cold really quickly, this type of weather.
Yeah, for sure. It's too cold, too fast. Where?
Then I looked at the week, and the week is pretty much the same as today.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, like 57s, 58s, rain.
That sucks. 5, 4, 3, hey!
What up?
What's up?
Yo!
Oh my gosh, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
We are chilling. Chilling.
I like your haircut.
Ooh, I thought it was like we lagging already. We just started.
Nah. It's not going down like that.
They hating.
I was like, not a connection problem.
Nah. It's not going down. We won't let it happen.
Not at all.
But I was about to say you were our first out of state guest, but then I kept thinking about it and I realized you're our first out of city guest.
Wow, yeah.
So yeah, you're making history today.
Exactly.
Wow. I'm changing lives.
I'm totally thrilled.
Speaking of,
I'm like, I walk around. I'm like, I was their first out of state guest. Out of city guest.
NBD.
Right.
So how are things down in Florida?
I'm like in a Hall of Fame, like right between the two guitars.
We'll print out a big picture of your face.
That'd be so cute.
That would be hilarious. And then if we have that in the back for all of them and we just don't mention it.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, okay, that's just the set.
Maybe maybe that's their drummer.
He is the chosen one.
So how's Florida? You're in Boca or?
Yeah, well, I'm like maybe like 5-10 minutes from Boca, but I guess you could consider it Boca. Yeah, it's Boca. I'm like, I guess people that don't live in Florida, I guess could say it's Boca. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I would, because I don't know Florida that well at all.
Have you ever been to Florida?
I've been to Fort Myers. That's it, just to visit my aunt. It was like a funeral weekend. Exactly. Totally the wrong reason to be in Florida.
Oh no! I was gonna say
my heart
Myers
hurts.
Is cute. Fort Myers is cute, but it's more of like one of those like chill places. Like if you want to go chill at the beach,
yeah.
Like, you want like a little getaway. I feel like that's what Fort Myers is.
Right. She's like in her 70s. Like they went to retire pretty much.
Right. Very much like
the median age is very old.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting how like the south east Florida area where you're at is so much different than the rest of the state.
It really is. It's completely different. I mean, even when you go like more south of Florida, like it's even like more different.
Yeah, like once you get to Miami.
Yeah, like Miami's like a whole like freaking like melting pot. You get so many different nationalities. Well, New York's kind of like that too, I would say. No.
Well, definitely, I think more so than Miami, but Miami is like very like New York has so many different things where Miami is very like Latin.
Right.
You know what
Latin,
I mean?
Caribbean.
Yeah.
Latin, Caribbean.
Which
like,
obviously makes
like,
sense. It's right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. But then you start going up and it just gets like actual southern, like as like the more north you get in Florida, like it's like the south.
Oh yeah.
Like South Florida's like its own like area. It's like different lifestyles and everything in just South Florida.
Well, because most people that live there now are people that are transplants.
Okay.
Like, where is your family from there? Like, where, like, you know what I mean?
My mom was actually born in the Bronx, so she lived in she lived in the Bronx, and then I think they moved to Long Island, and then when she was like 11, she moved down here. But I have family up there.
Right.
So, yeah, but I think they live in Long Island too, so it's like not really like the city.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's funny. We were actually just saying, like, right before we went live, it's crazy, like, we've only actually met each other once.
Yeah.
But just because of, like, social media, it's like, ever since then, like, we see you all the time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's what I was telling people the other day, because, like, I was talking to a couple people that wanted to go to New York, and I was like, and they're musicians as well, and I was like, go there even to just visit. I was like, the music scene over there, like everybody's so accepting. It's all collaborative. I feel like people really just want to. I mean, that's the vibe I got. You know, like everybody like wants to like be accepting of like your art form and stuff, and like everybody's like more open to hear what you're trying to create. That's where I feel like more down here, it's kind of like a set box, like if you're not doing this, like it's not going to be as like well known or whatever. I feel like you can experiment more in New York than you can down here.
Interesting.
Yeah. I remember you saying something about. Remember me, you, and my cousin were talking.
Yes.
In the bar
he
for like a
Fort
while.
Lauderdale, right?
Yeah, he lives in Fort Lauderdale. He works in Wynwood. And I remember we were talking about that, but like, I'm glad you brought that up because it's something I wanted to say. Is like, I remember you were saying, you were like, yeah, like I feel like it's in a box and like, I'll be with some people and they'll be doing like these vocal runs and shit. And it's like, I know it's like a different thing, but it's like, you shouldn't like worry about that. Cause like the whole thing, like for really art in general, I feel like is to just have your own thing and to do it better than anybody else.
Yeah, I feel that.
If you just have like artist A and you're like, oh, they can do this, like I want to try to do something like that, then it's getting to the point it's like, well, if someone was trying to listen to that, then they would listen to artist A. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Versus you like having your own thing, it's like there's no other Symon Plante. Like you're the only one. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
so it's like I'm just saying.
The wall, the plaque.
To the one and only Symon Plante. That would fit right in with the Zeppelin theme.
Yeah.
I always make jokes about that too, like at work. Like they'll be like, "How do you pronounce your last name?" I'm like, "It's Plant, like Robert Plant." And they'll be I've had people even be like, "Who?"
Oh no.
I'm like, "Oh, your card declined."
That's right.
That's
hilarious.
Yep, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's how it should be, damn it.
I mean, like, I don't feel like I'm like as well like knowledgeable in rock as I should as in classic rock, but like I at least know who Robert Plant is.
Yeah.
Like, what I mean? Like, so
yeah.
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 And especially I'm sure people like said that to you, right?
About what? About Robert Plant?
Yeah, like or just mentioned something to you, right?
Yeah, like people have made jokes about it. But
yeah.
I think our last names are spelled different. I think
he doesn't have the E.
Plant. Right.
Yeah. He doesn't have the E.
But I am gonna say, if you do Google Robert Plant's sons, you could be a distant cousin. You could be a cousin of their sons. Of his sons.
I don't know what they look like.
Because his wife is Indian, so the kids came out like, you know what I'm saying, like mixed Indian white, like, you know what I mean? And it's like they got like a dark, brooding, sexy kind of thing going on. That's right. You take him to court.
I'd be like, I got his eyes, Maury. They look like mine.
He's been around way too much not to be taken there.
Yeah.
You got my teeth, Maury.
If you get on a show with Robert Plant, clout goes like this. You're like, yeah, I did that shit.
Shows up in the background as like a special guest. I'm like,
that would be legendary.
It would. I would like to see him politely get his way out of that and like politely not be too insulting, but it'd be insulting at the same time.
He'd be like, our names are not spelled the same.
I rest my case.
Exactly. You could be like, well, that's because I live near Miami, and you live in England.
I had to add some, little Caribbean flair to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway. So only way people would recognize me.
So how have things been? I know with the release, with everything, like since we saw each other, when was that? That was like 7 months ago.
Yeah, that was months and months. It was a whole different season.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I miss New York so much. I want to go back so bad. Like, I really do miss it. I think because my friend lives up there. I don't know if you remember, there was this guy that was with that day, and he had like long curly hair.
I remember.
That's my friend. He lives up there.
Okay.
So like, I talked to him all the time, and I'm like, I need to go back up there. I loved it up there. I really did.
I can see that. Yeah.
It's definitely, if for music, I would definitely wait a little longer because we still can't really do shows.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It's like, I actually want to try LA and see what LA looks like.
Yeah. I heard that music scene is really supportive. Like more so than New York. Like everybody on the West Coast, like LA, Seattle, and like all those neighboring places, like, you know, Vegas and stuff like that. Like, if we're like, you know, indie like this, and we have like a good enough amount of people in, let's say, LA, and we gotta drive like an hour and a half to Vegas and do a show, our people from LA will literally get in their cars and come see us perform over there in Arizona. Yeah, that's how they said it's over there. But like New York, people will want to support you, but they'd be like, oh man, you know, I wish I could go, or I can't.
But I got a thing.
It's something I gotta do.
That is the same down here. It is the same shit.
Yeah. So
it's the same shit.
I guess
I'm busy. I'm like, okay. All right.
You're like, aren't we all?
Right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Let's move to Cali. Everybody, let's all go.
I do want to try it out, though. I really want to see what the scene is like. Because, I mean, like, when I came up to New York, I came by myself. I just came up for a week, and I just wanted to... And I'll probably do the same thing.
Do you have any friends over there?
I don't. So, like, I would... oh, God. What did I just do? Okay. I was getting, like, messages on my screen. I keep trying to swipe up, and I, like, almost erased the...
Oh, no, you're good.
Yeah, we didn't get anything. Yeah, you're good.
Simon has left the chat.
Like, all right, so the SightCast continues. It's just us now. I don't know what happened.
It's great talking to you. But no, I don't have anybody out there. I would probably just go out, maybe get an Airbnb. I mean, when I went to New York, I actually stayed at a hostel. I didn't even stay at an Airbnb.
That is the move that is one of the move I've heard. Like, I've had a lot of friends that like didn't live here that would be like, yeah, if I'm going to the city, I'm going to stay in a hostel.
A hostel.
It was cool. I liked it.
For the experience, right?
What, say it again?
For like the experience of it, right? Because you meet a bunch of people and stuff, right?
I think, yeah, and I think the thing was too, because like, you know, my whole thing was like, all right, I want to see what New York is like to see if I want to move up there. And I was like, well, if I'm going to move up here, I'm going to come up here by myself, and I'm going to stay somewhere where I'm not really comfortable. I don't know anybody, because that's what's going to happen if I go up there. So why not just put myself in it now?
Right.
You know, it's not for... This isn't a vacation. I mean, yeah, I get to, you know, enjoy myself, but I get to experience what I would experience if I'm going to come up here.
That's a good mindset.
Yeah. I had people telling me, they were like, no, don't do a hostel, because they'd be like, you saw the movie. I'm like, it's not the same thing.
That was a good one.
Get out of my life.
Yeah.
Get on my inbox.
Those are like the same people who'd be like, wait, you wanted to go somewhere on a train? You don't have a car? You know what I mean? Like shit like that.
See that.
The movie. Oh my gosh.
I didn't see that movie, but I knew
You didn't? My siblings and I randomly text each other, I go home, and stuff like that. Like, you know, because that's how it was in hostel. They went to a club, and the girl texted her friend, like, I'm going home. But she was kidnapped in the club, and like, so we randomly text each other, stuff like that.
It's shit. Damn.
We got kidnapped?
Yeah, that movie's gross. And then there's Hostel 2. It's bad. You don't want to see that if you want to have good dreams.
Hostel 2's with the girls, though, right?
Yeah. It's like Saw in a way. It's like along those lines.
Wait, it's bad like scary, or it's bad like this is a shitty movie?
No. It's gruesome.
Okay,
good right. It's a good
There's
movie.
a lot of kinds of bad.
Yeah. I'll rate it higly in my horror flick. Like, you know.
Okay, that means a lot. You know a lot of horror movies.
Yeah, that's a one and done for me. I don't want to see that again.
I honestly have not like seen the full film of Hostel 2, but I've seen like clips like where the girl's like hanging upside down and she's like topless, and like the girl's like bathing in her. No, I'm being serious.
No, I know, it's just funny. I'm just like trying to picture it because I haven't seen any of it.
She's like, I mean, I can't really explain it because it's like she's literally hanging upside down, like her hands behind her back, and like there's a girl in the tub, and like and she like cuts her up, and like it's just like people are joining in. I'm like, she cuts her up.
It's all good. Just so you know, the way that we do it, so we screen record the whole thing and then we put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's like if somebody wants to see the whole thing, then they can see it in context. So it's not like somebody just logs in like, oh, Simon's talking about killing people. Okay, I guess that's what's happening on the SightCast today.
Right? They come in, they're like, all right.
Yeah.
I thought this was a music show.
But that's also kind of fun though. To be like, have you ever been like on the other side of that? Like you log into a live and you're like right in the middle of it, and then you have to kind of figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do, but I feel like I try to like give it the benefit of the doubt, because I feel like I feel like you guys would be the same too. You'd be like, oh, okay, well, let's see like what's going on.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I would hope somebody would do if they
For
were out
us,
here,
right?
And they just see, oh yeah, they hung them topless, and they
Cuts
were
are
whatever, yeah.
We do that to our
And
guests.
Guts are like a fish.
Oh shit, that's intense.
Yeah, it is.
So go ahead.
No, I want
You're the guest. You're
I'm gonna
first.
add
You're
one.
first.
So I'm just gonna add one in just for
All
giggles.
right. So you guys Sifa, you were born in New York, or did you come to New York as well?
I was born in Africa. I was born in the Congo.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom actually went over there to teach English, and then she met my dad there, who's from there, and then they got married and had us there, and then came back to the U.S., to New York, to Brooklyn. And I was in New York up until I was in like 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, and then we moved upstate, well, in the suburbs to Rockland County. So, yeah, pretty much suburban, urban, back and forth, New York, but I've lived here.
That's pretty awesome,
Yeah.
though. That is such a cool background.
Oh, well, thanks. What, what else do you want to ask me? No, what's your background? What's your
Now
background?
we're talking about me. Oh my god, I can't.
Yeah. What about you?
Your turn.
What's your story?
I was born in Florida. I mean, my mom is Haitian, so like her family was, I think she's first generation. Yeah, first generation Haitian American.
Okay.
My grandmother and my aunt and stuff, I believe they were all born in Haiti, and then they moved to New York. Then my mom came down here. My dad is from here, so my mom and my dad met down in Florida. And my dad, I think, is like, he's like Polish, French, like that, like area. I always forget like exactly what the combination is, but
Right.
he's white. So like, more or less, like he's white.
You're like, I get the point.
Baby.
Okay. Oh, you pulled out a southern accent. How cute.
I'm a little mixed, baby.
Yeah. I wish I had a southern accent so I could say certain things. Like, I gotta get.
People sometimes,
Go on and
like
get.
coworkers, I've been talking, and then in the middle they'll be like, you just sounded so southern right there.
It's so dope.
They'll like stop me and tell me that. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, sometimes you do. Sometimes it sneaks out. But
Like one time somebody came in, I was like, morning, and they were like, that was the most cowboy shit I ever heard. Somebody said that was a quote to me. And this was a girl from fucking Tennessee that said it to me. And I was like, damn, for real?
You were born in, you were like around Tampa, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
So my whole dad's side of the family is from here. My grandparents were born in the Bronx. They were first generation. Their parents came from, I don't even know the country, wherever the Jews were running from in Europe at the time.
Oh my gosh,
And then
Dan.
they come in, and I really don't know what country. And then so they were here. My grandparents were born and raised in the Bronx. My dad was born in the Bronx. Grew up in Queens. Met my mom in Jersey, and then they both moved down to Florida. Had me and my sister, and then me and my sister both moved back to Brooklyn.
Okay.
So yeah, so here we are.
That's awesome though.
Yeah.
And you guys don't live together though.
No.
Okay. So whose house are you guys at right now?
Ron's house! No, just
Okay.
kidding. That's the song.
Oh shit! Remember that show? You ever see the reality show?
Yeah. That was cool.
That was a cool
At
show.
the end of the episodes, he'd be sitting in the bathtub.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Sidekick.
Yeah,
He'd
that
be
was
like Dear Diary. I'd be like, oh yes, bubble bath.
Right.
Yeah, he's in the bath.
And
Like,
it's
let me just wrap up the
crazy.
whole episode.
right. You can imagine them in your head right now. The boys
Yes.
so little, but they're like fully grown humans
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's just like, oh crap. Like, wow. But yeah, this is Dan's place, though.
Say it again, that last part. I
This
didn't hear
is Dan's place.
Okay. You like me. It's my place.
These are my guitars, though. He likes to put them up there.
No,
for
not
some-
the red one. The red, the red one's mine. You can have the
Oh
other
my
ones.
God.
But anyway, yeah, man. Tell us about your music. Is that what we're asking? Tell us about a song that you love that you want everyone to know about.
Yeah, self promo time. Go for it.
Oh my God, Steve, do that one more time. That was great.
I
Anyway, I just released my first single in 2 years. I released it almost 3 weeks ago now.
You sound so smooth. Your voice is so like clean, like it just sounds really good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Sorry, continue.
You're like, it's good, okay? It's good.
No, I'm just saying, because like your voice just hit it in the track, it just like fit in like perfectly in the track in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It honestly, like, with that song I wrote like before I even came to New York. I wrote the chorus for that, and then when I had maybe like a month or two ago, I ended up getting re-inspired and I wrote the verses and the bridge. But but the production process is always like so monotonous for me because I feel like I'm like, I mean, I don't do it all myself. Like, I don't have my own setup or my own studio, which I really commend you guys for because I listened to your guys' album. Great, by the way. I loved it.
Thank you. That wasn't even a studio. That was just on the phone. You could do that.
I heard. I know. I listened to the beginning of it. I loved it. Like, I honestly love the concept of how you guys, like, did, like, a podcast and, like, an album in one because I don't feel like a lot of people do that. So I thought that was really, like, innovative to do something like that.
That's his
idea.
Honestly,
I was like, I heard it and I was like, maybe I should do that.
Well, no, it makes sense because I mean, I said it in the thing, but it's like if you're on Spotify and you find a new artist or whatever, you can really like their music, but it's like you still don't really know who they are. So like doing something like that, which is kind of what we're doing now, just like, you know, the audio version, you get an idea of who these people actually are, and then you feel more of a connection to them and then to the music as well.
Right.
You know?
Right. And I loved at the end how you guys like explained like every track. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, because listening through, I was like, okay, like I'm hearing each song, and then at the end when you guys explain like, okay, well this is pretty much like when you're high, and I was like, last time I had an edible, I had a terrible ass experience. So like,
oh man,
it was intense. It was very intense.
Wow, did you eat too much of them?
I think I had. Well, the thing is, I've had edibles twice before. I don't really smoke like that because of my voice. So I try to not like do all that stuff.
I need to follow you.
I was like, edibles are the new thing, so I'll just do that instead. You know,
yeah.
Not the new thing, but I mean, like that's the new option. That's
right.
So like I did it once at a house party, and we had but I had like Jello shots and stuff too.
Okay, yeah.
And that one wasn't a bad experience, but like I was at the house party, we were all talking and everything. I'm like, I don't feel anything. And then out of nowhere, like, all the music just went boom. I was like...
yeah, just like that. That's what happens.
That's it. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
And then I went into a corner, and I was like... I went to a corner and sat at this little, like...
You're like, oh.
No, not even that. So I pulled out my phone. This is my phone case. I have to take it off so it's on my ring light. But so, like, I had my phone. I'm sitting there texting. I'm like, ha, 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 like, laughing. And people are like... Who are you talking to? And I'm like, nobody. My screen was black. My screen was fucking black. I was like, what is
Yo, that's hilarious.
It really is. Nobody.
I'm just having a grand old time.
I was like, mind your business. And it literally was no one on there.
Oh my god.
Yes, like, don't worry about it. What's the matter to you?
Wow. Right. That's hilarious. That's good. That sounds like something from school days, like young school days.
Second time.
Okay.
The second time was tragic. Oh, no. I tried to do it with a friend of mine because we were trying to write some music, and I was like, okay, let's do some edibles, like, you know, just to kind of expand a little bit. We had the edibles were nerds.
Okay,
like
the rope?
Oh.
Yes,
yes, girl. Nerds.
That will have you on the ropes.
It did have me on the ropes, okay? I was like this, and it was right around when, I don't remember if it was Pop Smoke or, what was the other artist that passed recently besides Pop Smoke?
Triple X?
No, there was not, he had a seizure.
Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD.
Yes,
he had,
yes.
like, just passed around the time. And, you know, it was from seizures, so, like, I had the edible, I'm, like, singing the same melody in my head. Nothing's coming out of it, and all of a sudden I start getting tired and I start falling asleep.
Yeah.
So I start falling asleep, and then I start like jolting up because I'm like, bitch, I'm having a seizure.
Oh,
so I start freaking out. I start freaking out. My friend's like, calm down. I'm like, no, I can't go to sleep. I run to the bathroom. I keep going to pee. I keep feeling like I'm peeing my pants. Like,
oh god.
Like, weird. I was like, never Nerds Rope again.
Yeah.
Never again. There was a lot more things that happened, but if that should give you like a better synopsis, I'm like, it was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, edibles can be dangerous because you don't know how much to take because it takes a while to kick in. So you think, oh, maybe I need to do more, but in reality, you already have enough in you.
Right.
To last a while.
Yeah, and so many people make that mistake.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I was one of them. I found out real quick.
Me too. And it doesn't help when they taste good. Like if somebody really knows how to bake goods, like that doesn't help. Like,
and my greedy ass too will be like, but it tastes so good.
Mine is like a macadamia nut cookie. Like, you know what I mean? It's like soft, kind of Toll House-ish. I was like, like, you know.
No, thank you. If someone were to hand me one next time, I'd literally have to have a crumb of it.
Yeah.
You ever watch SpongeBob? You ever watch SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Okay, so like when we were just eating the Krabby Patty and he was just like that'd be me like eating the I'd be like
the tiniest bite, yeah. Like you like Krabby Patties, don't you?
Right. Good for your soul.
I don't remember what the context was. I was talking to my mom about edibles once, and she was like, if you bake pot brownies, make sure you have something else to eat, because if you just eat the pot brownies when you get hungry, you're gonna have a bad time. And I was like,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That would be a terrible idea.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what's all the food I have? Oh, I'll just keep eating this.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, no.
Get some chips
just
or
one
something.
More bite.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to something you said about the song, how you had the chorus. You said you had the chorus before you even had come up to New York, and then like months later you were like inspired again to like finish it, basically.
Right.
Isn't it interesting how like writing a song is a journey?
It is a real journey. And honestly, I think before I used to like write songs and I used to be like, okay, I have to finish this in like one sitting. Or I'd be like, all right, this has to be done like within this time frame or this week. Or like, you know, when I started writing the song.
Right.
And after I sat on this, like I was like, just let it be. Whenever it comes to you, it comes to you. Like I even started recording this song without verses, and I went to the studio and started recording it, and it was literally like gibberish. Obviously, I wasn't gonna put that out, but I was like, let me just do this now, so that way. And I ended up going to another studio and re-recording it and stuff. Like it was this whole process for that song. So it's kind of funny, like how it, like after 2 years later, you know, like the song is out, and like it's kind of like an introduction to like my newer stuff that is coming.
Right.
But yeah, it's and then with the name too, like the title has nothing to do with the song itself.
That's great. I love that.
I love
I never do that though.
Yeah.
I never do that with my songs. Like all my songs, like if it's a title, it's gonna have like something to do with one of the lyrics in the song.
Yeah, right. It was very much a rock jazz trend, right? Would you say like more rock?
So, yeah,
jazz?
a lot of rock bands have done shit like that.
Jazz definitely. You know what I mean?
It's kind of cool in a way because I feel like it sparks curiosity.
Yeah, Wu-Tang used to do that. Wu-Tang did that like with pretty much their whole album. Like, you know, their first album, it's like what they're saying in the hook is not what the song is named. And that was cool. They were like the first like urban artists, I feel, to actually do something like that. It's a good thing. Yeah.
I like seeing that shit because then I try to like look through the lyrics and I'm like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
And then I realize they just pulled it out of nowhere.
Right, yeah.
or whatever.
And it's fun. It's actually pretty cool, like how, because I feel like it makes you want to like dive more into the song and really figure out like where it comes from.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just like, no, we just felt like it.
Yeah,
exactly.
It doesn't always have to be that deep, you know.
Yeah, As a matter of fact, I think Ghostface was like that. They were like, What are you thinking about when you write your songs? If we ever listen to a Ghostface song, his own album, you really kind of don't know what he's talking about. You have to be like. His quote is, "Oh man, you gotta be there when I wrote it. You had to be there when I wrote it." Like he doesn't even know from time to time.
That's because he was high as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be talking about beef and broccolis, and he's literally talking about brown and green shoes. Like, you know what I mean? And you have to like know, to know.
Okay.
You gotta know the lingo and shit.
Yeah.
I cannot. That's hilarious though. Like, you know, but it's funny just to see how like people create their art. I feel like that's so interesting to me.
Yeah.
That's why it's like when people say, well, I don't like the sound of it. It's like, okay, well, listen to the whole thing first and see, like, because, you know, it may not have been meant to be something mainstream. It's just more like the artistic approach of it, I think, is so interesting.
Right.
I love that.
That's true.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's
like,
something.
I feel like I feel like you have songs that, you know, are meant for mainstream, that are meant for like, okay, I'm gonna blast this all the time. But then there's some songs that I feel like are just meant to be looked at as a body of work.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and I think people sometimes forget that because things are just so easy to consume now.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, like, people are more like, I just got to put this out. I got to put this out. But no one really takes time to, like, think about, like, the artistic approach with it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's something that happens more with quote-unquote normal people as in non-artists. Because, like, artists know what it takes to do something like this. So when you see somebody, like, when we see you put a song out, we listen to it, you're like, oh, I can see... No, obviously, I didn't know how you wrote it or anything, but you know there's a lot of work that goes into it, and you kind of appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Versus if you've never really created anything like that, you wouldn't really have that perspective as much. Like, I've had friends, I told them I was working on an album, they're like, oh, so it'll be done in, like you know, a day or two? And I was like... What?
A day or two.
I was like, what do you mean, dude? We got so many tracks to lay down. He's like, what? You don't just like do it all at once? Like he thought that you just go in, okay, here's the whole song like that.
Yeah. No,
because it is not that he was being a douche or anything. He just didn't know.
Like, I'm Sifa right now because Sifa's there like this.
I was like, yeah, no.
Well,
Because
I was like,
I put myself in a studio right now with a pressure to do like 8 songs in a day. Like that's why my face was like that. It was like, yeah,
I know.
No.
But I have friends, that's what I was saying before. Like with the recording process, like that is like the most like painstaking part. I don't want to say painstaking because I enjoy every part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the part where I get mostly stressed because I am one picky ass bitch. Like
that's good though.
But I give like, I honestly like, I always make sure to tell my people that are helping me produce my tracks or like my engineers or whatever, like I appreciate you so much because I know how picky I can be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, people are probably like cussing me out.
Likewise.
Because like, you know, I'll text them, be like, this needs more of a filter here. I need more of a fade. I need more EQ right here. And then like, we'll go back and be like, take the EQ off. I don't like it right there. I need more high end here. And then I'm sure they're probably like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But like in their head, they're like, this fucking bitch, I swear to God, if he asks for one more thing.
Yeah, they're probably, I don't know. 2 things I want to say about that. Like, I'm glad I have him because I'm the same way. And it's like, you know, I literally would ask him and be like, well, should I be leaving this alone now? Like, because I can't hear it as a person. I can only hear it like inside of it and I can't hear it outside of it. Like, you know? Mm-hmm. And then it like I think it was like 1 or 2 songs is like, you could leave it alone. Because it, like, I could do a song perfectly in my own mind. Like, right? But if you play it back for me tomorrow, I'll find something wrong with it. I will.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know?
Hell yeah.
This is the thing, especially on my end as like the producer, is like you can always add something to a song or you can always take something away from a song and it's never really done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you just at some point have to decide this is the product, like this is what we're going with. Because there's always gonna be something else you can do. But if you stay in that mindset, you can literally spend 10 years making a song. And it's like, well then you're not helping yourself, you're not helping people that want to hear your music. It's just not good for anyone. So at some point you just kind of got to cut yourself off in a way.
Yeah.
And that's especially when you have a deadline too. It's like, that's when the stress really comes on because you're like, fuck, I want to release this song or I want to release this album.
Yeah.
But like, this is not hitting the way I want it to hit. And it's like, it bothers the shit out of you. And you're like, well, do I push the date back now? Yeah. Or like, do I just release it with the way it is?
Right.
But then like, because I feel like also creating music is a very intuitive thing too. And I feel like artists can be very intuitive. So it's like, I don't know, me personally, I feel like if I just put it out and just like let it be, sometimes I feel like it doesn't sit right with me because like, I'm like, I have to feel it. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I think I battle a lot. Like as far as an artist is like just trying to like know when to just be like, okay, just put it out. It's fine. Like you're good.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And the other part of that is kind of like, this took me a while to realize, but it's like once you put something out, it's not yours anymore.
Right.
It's everybody else's.
Yeah.
Like if you put out a song and somebody interprets it in a way that you weren't thinking when you wrote it, you can't really tell them that's not what it's about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because in their head, like they see the same thing. It's like it goes through their filters of their personality. And if that's real to them, like who am I to tell them that's not real?
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And honestly,
and that's why art is so subjective.
Yeah, very much so. And honestly, there's way more space for your ego to grow and have like lead singer disease. At least you're not Axl Rose, right? Who locks everyone out the studio and has to do each song line violin. Well,
He
He
locked
did-
everyone out of the studio.
well, nobody wants to be there. After
Nobody,
a while,
that
too.
guy, nobody wants to be there with him.
Yeah.
And then also, no, he literally, I don't know if you listen to Guns N' Roses, but the first album, he did every line separately.
Wait, so like recording process, you're saying? Like,
Yeah.
He would go
Like
in and be
that.
like, sweet child of mine, no, sweet child, and then do 2 other words or whatever instead of.
I do that too.
Do you
Really?
every single
I
line
do.
line by
Whoa,
line?
see, I respect
Whoa.
that because that
Me
takes so much
too.
time.
And the song sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do a lot of like plugging in. So like say like for like that first verse,
Mhm.
those are different phrases. Like they're not all recorded at once. I mean
Okay.
that's
Right.
how I. But I mean I will replay them a couple times. Like
Right.
or I'll do like sometimes we'll take like different takes from other
Right, for
recordings
sure.
and then piece them together.
I like that. I like it.
It really, honestly, because when you think about it, I mean, it's a production. It's not like, unless you're trying to get that feel of like a live.
Right.
You know,
That's who I
know,
feel like I am at heart. Because when I record a song, it's like I have to do this like this one take because I want to do it live like this too. I kind of want people to be like, wow, it's great live and it's great recorded the same way.
Right.
I want to piggyback on that. The first song that we ever recorded, Sifa did all the vocals in one take, and I was like, what? I was like,
we're done.
I was like, you're done? I was amazed. Remember, I
Yeah.
said something. I don't remember what I said, but I was like, do you do this all the time? You're
Yeah.
like, I've done it.
Yeah, I've done it before. And
Okay.
it's usually I don't know what my brain triggers that. It's usually like a first time thing. It's like if I feel like it's like somewhere in the back of my mind, I feel like I have something to prove. Right? So it's like my first time in Dave's studio and then my first time recording, it's like, man, I don't want this guy to think that like, you know, I don't know. It's so my mind just goes into that gear.
I feel like that
Interesting.
too.
Yeah.
Like, I feel that because like when I go to the studio that I'm at now, which I did to record, it worked. You know, you're going to people that, I mean, yeah, I guess they have heard your voice, but at the same time too, like my old songs, I don't sing the same way. So I'm like, I gotta show out. I gotta show them that I'm a different bitch.
I gotta
Like, you
show
know,
them what I'm
and then
about.
when I start singing, they're like, all right, we're just doing a run through. You don't have to. I'm like,
You're like, but I want
I'm like,
to.
oh,
Yeah.
say it again.
You're like, but I want to.
Mm-mm.
I want you all to know what I'm doing and what I'm about, and this is what I'm about, right?
But yeah, but then they'll literally be like, we're just doing a run through. We're just checking levels right now. Calm down. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry.
It's all practice.
Guys, I
I'm
want
so
to
excited.
ask you both a question about. I was watching a video. Some guy was talking about Jimi Hendrix and his timing, right? And like a lot of artists of that time and their timing. Which do you prefer? Like, let's say I hired a live band, right? And we got a live band for the day, and we're gonna record. Like, which do you prefer? Would you prefer to sing with this live band in real time, where you're just doing like the same riffs over? And there's nothing counting your time? Would you rather feel it out, do it with the band and record it like that? Or would you rather someone counting your time, you having to stay within the time, every single riff? Because they're talking about songs of today and songs of yesterday, you know?
Okay.
So like, which would you prefer?
I think it depends on the song I'm making. Like
Okay.
if I'm making a pop song, like if I did with It Work, like that's more pop influence.
Okay.
You know, I would rather do that with more of a track that was created, you know, like by a producer. And then,
Okay.
you know, if anything I could use, because sometimes what I do too is like, I'll record my vocals with just a metronome.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Right.
and then I'll plug it in afterwards, because sometimes I feel like it's just even though with raising and stuff like that, I just, in my head, I feel like I'm competing too much with the actual, she said full band. Yes, full band. But, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm competing with the actual instrumentation. Now, if it was like a live setting, I would love to perform with the live band. Even with like It Worked, I would love to do that with a live band.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I love that because I feel like the energy of that is so different.
That's definitely true.
Different. You know, you really just like feel it.
Yeah.
And like you guys, like everybody and like the bandmates, they just like you vibe off each other's energy.
Yeah,
You know
you're
what I'm
literally
saying?
creating something together, and you could feel that
Right.
like down to the core. Like I don't want to say I never really paid attention to that, but when I watched the video, it did like make me like, aware, because they were like, when the hook comes right back around again, you could tell it's not in the same time as the first hook. Like, you can tell, like, it slips, it comes back in, and it's like that for many artists. But that, I feel like that's what made them kind of great in a way, right? Like, I don't know.
But I think also too, it's like, people aren't perfect. So it's like when you're playing against, like I said, if it's like a pop song or something like that, it's so like, it's so calculated that it's very different. It's like you can't. It's like it's two different like things. I feel they're two different entities. So it's like that's why I feel like if I were to record, maybe I would. If it depends on the song. Right. So like if I were to make live music, or like if I were gonna make more folk music or something like that, I feel like I'd probably want to incorporate more live instruments or a live band. Right. But I feel like with the route that I'm trying to go with my music, I don't know if that would really fit per se. It would probably be more of if I wanted a guitar in it, I could probably hire a guitarist, or like have a friend that is right?
Well, if you're ever recording in New York and you need a guitar player, or if I'm in Florida, I got you.
I'm like, send me some stems and chord progressions, please.
True.
We'll work for chord progression.
I would.
Right?
Yeah.
That's funny. That was a good question.
Thanks.
That is actually a really good question, because I do wonder that too, like how people would want to, like I said, I think it depends on like what type of music they're trying to make,
What's your take on it?
Well, I was like, you want to say something?
And right, since on your mind.
Well,
he's like, au contraire.
Like, are you, like, am I answering this as an artist or a producer?
Ooh, can you answer us both? In how much time do you have? No, I'm just kidding. Like,
yeah, you're like, we got 10 minutes. I'm kidding. We have 20 minutes, I think. But
yeah, we're good. So as just like an artist, or specifically like as a guitar player, I would definitely prefer it to be with a live band, because then I have more control over what happens. Versus as a producer, it's kind of the same thing. As a producer, I would rather it be more set, because then I have more control over what happens. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
Because like, I feel that.
I don't know how I want to say it. Because especially you're saying like, kind of what you were saying with like a pop tune. Like if it's something that's like very specific, like the melody is this, and like it goes right into this and that. Like I would want it to be set. You know what I mean? Right. If it's a very specific thing, then it works better to have it all like that. Versus if it's more of like a free flowing, like let's just see what the vibe is. Then obviously the band. But it really depends on the song. I would agree.
Okay. I feel like too, like I said before, like if I made like a pop song, like my next song is gonna be more pop than it was for It Worked. But like if I were to do a live performance of it, I would love to do it with a live band. I think that'd be so cool. Like, so it's not like I'm opposed to it, but like I said, recording wise, I think it'd be better for a pop song.
Yeah.
But then also too, I think there was something I was gonna say while you were saying that, and it would kind of tied. Also too, I feel like with a lot of independent artists, when you want a live band, sometimes it's a little bit harder to obtain, because you have to pay those band members. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just easier cost wise just to do it through like through,
Digi,
Ableton, or just doing it through Logic, and just calling it a day.
Well, that's
the only thing. It's like you're limited too, so it's like that could also be why that it's not as common as it used to be. Because it's like it's so much more accessible to do it online, or do it through computers or whatever, or technology, than like before. So that could be another reason why as well.
That kind of is a reason of why we have the setup that we have. Because when we first met, we were thinking like maybe we add more people and like try to make more of a band or whatever. And then just thinking about like hauling a drum set throughout the city, I was like, fuck that. like let's not do that if possible.
Yeah.
And then also,
yeah.
In a band, it's like the more people that are in the band, the harder it is to keep the band together.
Right.
Because there's more personalities and different people trying to do different things.
Right.
So
exactly.
I feel like the less people in a band, the better for productivity, to be honest.
That's true.
And then also it's easier to schedule a thing. Like I can just text Sifa, hey, 3 o'clock? And she's like, yeah. Versus like I used to be in a band that was like 5 people, and we'd be like, okay, can everyone practice at 5 on Sunday? And 4 everyone would be like, yeah. And then the singer would be like, no, I have a thing. You know what I mean? So just even that.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of like I enjoy that I am a solo artist, but at the same time it's like when it comes to funding, I'm like, damn, if I had a band, like the cost would be like separated evenly. Like, I wouldn't be having, because, everything pretty much is coming out of my own pocket. So
Right.
it's like, it's like, so sometimes it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. I feel like there's bitter parts on both ends,
Yeah.
That, I think monetarily it all equals out, because it's like, you're splitting what you're spending, but you're also splitting what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
True.
So in the
Yeah,
end, like
that's
that kind of is the same regardless.
Yeah.
It's just more difficult to make it happen with more people.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Plus, it's so hard for me to songwrite with people. I've tried a couple times, and it's like I always hit like a mental block every time I try to songwrite with people.
Interesting.
It's like I feel like I have to be by myself to like really just like write exactly what I want. And I don't know why it's like that. Like I see people that collaboratively like songwrite, and I'm like, maybe I'm just not meant to do that. But like I would like to be able to at least make one song with somebody and just like to see like how our visions kind of like come together.
I think if you find the right person to do that with, then you can do it.
I think so too.
Like
it probably just takes it's probably a thing of numbers, like how many times you hit that number, right? You probably have to go through 2 more experiences or 1 more experience before you meet that person that you can write with.
Yeah, I mean, I was in a band for 3 years before I moved here, and we never were able to write a song together. And the first time we jammed, we wrote like 3 songs the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it depends on the person. I feel like if you met a person that kind of sees things the same way as you, and you just like were able to bounce ideas off of, because that's really the thing. If you come into like a songwriting session, you're like, I want a song to be like this, then you're taking too much control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like,
and
okay.
that's my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should probably.
I want to be in control. Like,
yeah.
That's how I want it.
I would work on being more open. Just more open. Not necessarily, it's good to like, to be a stickler for things that you want done and stuff like that, especially as an artist. Like, it's great to be like that, but I would be more open to, just more open. So that when you sit down, you won't critically analyze every thought that comes into your head that wants to form a sentence into like a song phrase and stuff like that. I feel like that's what happened when I met up with him. It was another one of those things. Well, I have something to prove. And it's like, well, see, but don't like try not to. I had to tell myself like really open up, like really, really open up, and that's what happened. I just started singing like what came to my mind, and I know like as an artist, he's like accepting as an artist. Like there's some people like. Certain song concepts and ideas just won't fly with them. They'll be like, "What are you saying about?"
Like, huh?
Yeah,
It's true.
Yes,
true. And I get that because and that's my problem. Like I said, I'm very in my head a lot of the time. So it's like I like to be in control of a lot of things. I think that's something I just need to work on in general. Just like being like surrendering a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But also too, I feel like it kind of ties in with like if you have like a producer as well too, like you have to find that right person that really just jives with what you want to do, and that has the same chemistry with you. Even with the engineer, I feel too, it's the same thing. Even though they're just editing your vocals and stuff, or just like
they have to know what you're going for.
Right. And they have to see the vision.
Exactly.
That's why my engineer is like 40 minutes away from me. And like, so people be like, why do you go all the way out there? I'm like, because I like the way he does his stuff and he understands like where I'm going with it. You don't find a lot of people that really get, what you're trying to go for.
How do you get to him? Do you drive?
Yeah, I drive.
Oh, you gotta drive. You gotta drive.
Oh, yeah, because you're like 40 minutes. I'm like, no big deal. Yeah, 40 minutes. That's normal. He's like He's like 45 minutes away from me. So it's like no big deal. But when you find that person that you work with, there's no mileage that's too much to like work with them. Yeah.
It really just like I said, it just makes it worthwhile. You know what I'm saying? And I think. You find shout out to mixed by Lorenzo.
Hey. Lorenzo
shout out.
Yeah. Sorry, my nose is big problem.
He's great. But yeah, it really does just like that's what I was gonna say too. I have also a short attention span, so if I jump from like point to point, like please forgive me.
It's okay, we all do.
It's the generation.
But so like when you were saying like earlier about like the 40-minute thing, when I got to New York and like I was like, okay, this takes like 30 minutes to get here. And then I look at the mileage. I'm like, Chad, I could get to work in my car in like 5 minutes from here. Like, this is like, I'm like, this is the same distance from my house to my job. Like, what is this?
If we were in Florida, the same distance that we live here, it would take 5 minutes.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it would.
It really would. But in New York, everything is so dense that to go a mile, it's like 5 miles.
Right.
Like a regular place.
Yeah, it's too much.
But I like it though. For some, it's just like I feel like you're always on the go. Like you're always. I felt like when I was there, I felt like very motivated to always do something because I know I had to go through all this to go and get something.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And like also too, like I never felt bloated once being in New York. I ate a shit ton, and then I just
because you're always walking.
And I was like, I feel good.
No, that's
funny.
Yeah. That's true. Like,
Never feel bloated. I was like, and I always feel bloated in fuck ass Florida.
Well, because literally, I mean, the culture is just so different. It's like you can be inside all. Let's say you have 3 errands to run in the day in Florida. The only calories you're burning are walking to the car and walking out of the car.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
The whole other time you're just sitting, and you could be sitting inside. Then you're going out, you're doing shit, but you're still just sitting in your car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's so funny. Yeah, my sister lives in Georgia, and her kids were born in Georgia. So she drives. She lives in rural Georgia. She drives everywhere. And like when they came up here, and we did some holiday thing. You know, in holiday in the city, like you're walking, you seeing everything, and my niece was crying. Like she was legit crying. It's too much walking.
Too much. But also too, they got terrains and shit. They got like all different levels of like valleys. Like Florida's just flat. Like,
Florida's
interesting.
Unless you're in Tallahassee.
I gotta check that out.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit more hilly. The more north you go, it's a little bit more hilly. Yeah.
But you made a good point about the city though. Like I feel like I'm way more productive here than I ever was in Florida. Just because like being around everyone that's always on their grind all the time, it's like if I'm not doing shit, I'm slacking.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like you always like it's like a mental note that you just get. Sorry, my phone was like, you got 10%. I was like, okay.
Oh, okay. We got 9 minutes, so it's perfect.
They were like, they came on the screen. They're like, you got 10%. I was like, okay. Give me a minute.
Damn. Shit. What were you saying?
About like
driving?
just being in the mentality, like when.
Oh yeah. It's the New York state of mind. It's like it really is a thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Interesting.
I love that though. It's just like. It was such a not a culture shock, but it was like refreshing to see that. Like when I got there, it was like, wow, like I feel like people don't care, like give a shit what you're doing. Like they're just minding their own business. You know what I'm saying? Like here, I feel like it's more like people like worry about like what you're doing, like what are you wearing and stuff like that.
For sure.
Especially more like down south. Mm-hmm. But like, like up there, it's like nothing.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody's so busy with their own shit that they don't give a shit about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. Which is very freeing in a way.
Yeah, you have to go somewhere. You always have to do something. And literally to like cross the street is like an event mentally sometimes in New York. You know what I'm saying? So just for you to cross the street, like you don't have time to pay attention to like 6 other people and what shoes they had on today and what they're eating.
I'm not gonna lie, I did feel like that because there was a Dunkin' Donuts right across the street from my hostel, and I was like, "Do I really want to get out of bed and get this?" I was like, "I sure do."
Or do I really want to go to the corner store? Yeah. Yo, I did see you just said something about someone's shoes just now.
Yeah.
Literally, I was doing laundry like an hour before this, and I saw this lady. She was wearing Jordans with a heel.
Ooh.
I had never seen that shit in my life. I was like, whoa.
She came to do laundry like that?
No, she was just walking by.
Okay.
She was just walking by as I was walking out. But I remember thinking, I was like, damn, I've never seen that shit before. And I almost wanted to say something to her. I almost wanted to compliment her shoes, but she was walking too fast.
She got the exclusives.
Yeah, you're like, no.
I'm like, yeah, I'm going this way anyway, so.
That's fine. For like things like that.
She probably already knew she was fly.
Yeah,
probably.
of course. Because like this is the neighborhood for it. Like you would have to go to certain neighborhoods to get certain different types of J's or Nikes. Like the Bronx had this color, Harlem had that color, Bushwick had this color, and then Coney Island would have a different color. Like
True.
People would like literally like hunt things out. So this is totally the neighborhood for a high heel Jordan.
I was blown away.
And you know what? But you know what? It's like if you were to do that in Florida, people would be like taking pictures. They'd be like this. Like that would be like a monument. Like people would be like, what the hell? You know? So it's just like, that's what I'm saying. It's like people are more like, I feel, focused down here on like what you're wearing and stuff like that than like it is up in New York. You know? But I also too, I feel like New York's more fashion driven too, so I feel like it's easy to be more expressive, you know?
Yeah, and then you kind of feel that pressure in a way too, because you
I
go
gotta
to
show out.
work. Yeah, because there are only so many mornings that you're going to get on the train going to work in your regular suit or your regular outfit and stuff like that, and see everybody going pretty much to the same area in their outfits and all that stuff and what they wear to work, and it's only a moment of time before that becomes you. Like, it just happens.
Wow.
It's like, oh, I can't get my shoes here anymore. I can't get this in. Oh, I'm gonna get this. Like, yeah, it
Damn.
just.
Fuck, everybody's wearing the same high heel Jordans.
So are you planning on staying in Florida? Like, you were saying that you went to New York to see if you would, like, move there, or you're talking about LA. Like, what is your plan right now? Or do you not have it yet? Because of everything.
I would say I don't plan on staying here forever. I would like to move out of Florida.
You should.
Just, like, I would. I probably, I'm not even probably, I will. So, like, I've been wanting to move out of Florida for the longest time. I think just with New York, like, I was more like, oh my God, like, I was supposed to go with my ex at the time, didn't work out. I was going to go by myself again, like, right after I got out of high school, because I got accepted. Like, they wanted me to audition for a college up there. And I got too scared and I didn't do it. But then, like, finally I was like, all right, I'm just going to go by myself, whatever, you know? So now I'm, like, on this kick. I'm like, all right, time to go to LA next. I'll go by myself.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I just feel like down here is just not meant for me. I just feel like, I feel like Miami is more, like, R&B driven. And I feel like I'm, like, in the middle where I'm, like, too pop for R&B, but I'm, like, too R&B for, like, pop. Like, I feel like I'm just kind of, like, in that kind of, like, gray area to where I can kind of, like, experiment a little bit more. So that's why I, like, want to go to somewhere else where I feel like where people are experimenting with their art, you know?
That's true, but I think you should look at that as a positive thing.
Yeah, you can make your own
lane.
Because that's what I was saying earlier, like, the key is to have your own lane and stick with it.
Right.
If you do that, and everybody else is, like, over here, everybody else is over here, but you're right here, and you keep going, like, you're going to make a name for yourself. You know what I mean? Because nobody's going to be like, oh, well, this person, like, Simon sounds like this person.
Right.
Or whoever.
Right.
Like, Simon sounds like Simon because you're here and everyone else is here. You know what I mean?
That is true.
So it really
That's
depends.
A very good perspective. That's a very good perspective to look at it. And, you know, it's like I never really looked at it that way because, like I said, I just always looked at, like, okay, well, how am I going to fit at this show? How am I going to fit at this show? You know?
You should be trying to fit out.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And also, like, you think about, like, the artists, like, whose art lasts is the people that were just doing what they wanted to do.
Right.
Like, people that were writing trends, you don't talk about them 20 years later. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is true. This is very, very true. I needed to hear that.
Oh.
No,
starts crying on camera. I'm like, oh my God.
That would be the best way to end a SightCast ever.
I'm like, wow, this is very inspiring. I'm gonna go write an album now.
And Simon did write that album.
Yeah,
he did write it that day.
You watch Coach Carter?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it.
You ever see that at the end where, like, they win the basketball game and, like, that song plays? Like, I'm hopeful for today.
Yeah.
And it shows, like, everybody, like
yeah.
freeze frame. And it shows, like,
the classic freeze frame.
That's what you gotta do.
I did write that song. I'm like,
yeah, so he did write that song.
But yeah, I mean, if you could take anything away from this combo, it should be that. Because that's the only way you're gonna make a name for you.
Right.
Is to know what you do. Like, you know what you do better than anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The key is how hard are you gonna hit it.
And then
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can keep selling and pushing it like that. Like, you never heard anything like this before. This is not your average R&B, like, or something. You know, not that cheesy line, but like, you know what I'm saying.
I feel like
girl on the block.
I feel like it's really easy, especially when you spend a lot of time with artists. I feel like it's easy to kind of see art as a competition, but it doesn't have to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, if everybody's doing their thing, then you're not really competing with anyone. Like, I don't really feel like we're competing with anyone because, like, no one really does exactly what we do.
Yeah,
right.
You guys have your own sound.
Yeah. And, like, that's
you too.
I think that's the thing too. Is, like, I mean, like, I don't try and look at, like, I'm competing with people. I think it's more of, like, how can I make my way through this? Like, how can I, like,
right.
Like, how can I? Yeah, obviously, I do want to do my own thing, but it's like I said, if I'm going to a show, it's like, am I going to, like, am I gonna get the show again? Am I gonna go back here because like, am I fitting like what people are wanting down there? You know, I think that's more like what I'm trying to say. So, but I get what you're saying too, and that I have to look at it that way too. Is like I may be in that gray area for a reason, because I do feel like I have something to offer, and I just want to be able to put it out in the right way,
exactly,
where people will be able to receive it well,
Right.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun. Instagram is going to kick us off in 24 seconds.
Oh, man!
So, yeah,
wow.
You can't see it, there's a countdown on our screen.
Yeah,
now we're at 17.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Symon Plante. Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, we're going to have you again. We love talking to you. Like, it was so, easy.
Yeah, I can't believe it's already been an hour. So, thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
Me.
Bye. Aww.